Alright, welcome back, guys. Gonna be streaming here in just a second as we get everything set up. I am Taco Bill Kafer here with you, streaming Chris Kelly for the second time today, this time against Chris Wirfs in the top 8. They have said in chat that Chris will make top 4, so here we go. I'm jumping into this game a little late, so it is the middle of turn 1. We see that Chris Kelly has set up the Emperor at the throne room. We see that Lieutenant Mitaka has come out to the landing site and pulled Jakku system. He pulls his shield control room, so much for, automatic starts and everything. I'm getting rid of those. We see that he started the same thing he started last time I streamed him. That's the map objective with You Know What I've Come For, to get the landing site, bow to the First Order, and the Dead Speak, which he's already used to pull the Emperor. Chris Wirfs, on the other hand, playing Watch Your Step, starting Walkling, I Must Be Allowed to Speak, and Squadron assignments. I think this is going to be an interesting matchup, especially depending on who the agent is, right? The agent has to be Luke. So it depends what kind of Luke Wirfs is running here. If he's running something like an old man Luke, that's going to be tough because he's going to lose his full immunity to attrition. If he's running a space Luke, that's going to be tough because he's not made to go on the ground. It's one of the reasons why I did not play Watch Your Step, is I was a little afraid of the map. I apologize if I'm a little red-faced. I just finished my run. I'm trying to get everything caught up here. So Chris has pulled Kessel after activating 10. He's getting a farm as well. I think I'm just going to say Chris the entire time, right? That's the easiest way to do this. You guys can figure out who did what. Chris pulling the useless gesture shield, the virtual version. Thank you for being here. Watching a Chris make it to the Final Four. In the chat, Mike Turner. Mike Turner doesn't know it yet, but he's actually the #1 seed for the consolation event. I'm going to be sending out emails later today with consolation bracket and matchups. So that'll run for the next 5 weeks. A lot of people have this first week off. I think there's only 3 games, so we can get down from 19 entrants to 16. Wirfs using 3 Force to get a Kessel run with Walkling. So like I was saying, I'm a big fan of Watch Your Step. I think it's a pretty good call. It's questionable, right? So you have to have a game plan for a map. You had to know that this was coming. I don't know who Chris played in his previous games, if they had played map or not. I know it was Justin Miyashiro, and then before that, I don't remember off the top of my head. So I don't know if he's seen map with it yet or not. One of the things I was able to do, I played a test game with Watch Your Step against map, was to go wide in space. So map generally runs 2-3 ships, maybe 4. You have Finalizer, you have a shuttle, and then maybe you also have Steadfast. I know for a long time I was running either a Boba Fett ship or a Zuckusin ship, just kind of as a backup ship. So that's like the max of your space. But if you set up, you have somebody at Starkiller Base, you have somebody at Tatooine, you have somebody at Kessel, you have Menace Fade set up. If you can keep somebody alive on the ground, you can kind of do a lot of damage to map while keeping them kind of in check. It's just a matter of surviving on the ground. Alright, so Chris used 1 to get the shuttle, and then activated 16, so 15 more. In his earlier game against Dylan, he was able to set up the shuttle, or excuse me, the finalizer fairly quickly. We can see him doing that here again. Excuse me. Yeah, so he does deploy the finalizer for 9 force to Jakku. I imagine he has either PV or Hux in hand to go with it. He'll deploy Snoke over to the shield control room where he does drain for +1. He'll get a use pile pull from that. Does have Hux, so Hux will allow him to both flip and get another use pile pull. He'll be able to shuttle up Mitaka just to have some forfeit on the finalizer. So one of the biggest problems is with Watch Your Step is that there's no resistance character or starship that you can attack Jakku with, so you're stuck drawing 1 there, or you have to waste an all wings combo without even being able to grab or like burn through a command. So that's kind of rough, and they do drain for 2 there. So Chris Kelly here set up drains of 2 and 2 on turn 3. If Wirfs doesn't do anything, Wirfs is gonna have 16 force to play with though. I wouldn't be surprised to see him set up maybe like Mirax or someone to Corellia. Maybe he's got his Kessel Run stuff set up, so I can see him setting that up as well. Right now, this is a pretty good start for Chris Kelly. Oh, he actually moves to Tatooine. That I don't know how I feel about. Because you don't have to control to flip, you just have to occupy. So if he goes, you know, somebody cheap wherever with a dodge or a blast the door kid or a barrier, and then is able to match up some ships here, you can draw 2 destiny. Chris doesn't have a way to command. Chris is only going to draw 1 himself. And I think the fact that Wirfs is going to have to use or lose 1 to draw Destiny is actually kind of... It's not helpful, but it's not as hurtful as it could be against other decks, because if you just throw stuff off the top and watch your step and hope it's an interrupt, you can then play that. Wirfs will have to watch out for the various tricks that map tends to play, like reacting laser cannon battery, lateral damage overwhelmed, gravity shadow, those type of things. I'm going to shrink this for 1 second. I don't need a bracket, I've got a thing over here and I don't need that. Okay. So Wirfs activated 12, has 16 to play with, tried to get a Kessel or Corellia, but none was in there. We saw him take Kessel in hand last turn, so we know he has that. He did save 4, so Corellia could be one of those 4, or it could already be in his hand. He's got Han Solo here to go pick up the Falcon. The fact that he didn't deploy Corellia first makes me think that Corellia is one of those 4. Okay, so 5 force for Falcon and Han to Jakku. Along with Eller's Medak. That'll prevent lateral damage on the Falcon. He's got a projection of a Skywalker to make that drain of 2 now a drain of 1. And if he's able to set up Menace Fades at some point, that would be a drain of 0. Oh yeah, and the retrieval from Kessel Run already makes, as Mike points out in chat, makes stomaching early damage much easier. So Wirfs just going to set up with the Falcon and Ellers on there, with Han and Ellers on there, and then draw some cards. Does draw above 12, drawing into some of the ones that he saved last turn, but saves 3. Chris Kelly going to take a Stormtrooper, so he gets 2199 into hand with Hux. Activates 17 force, which is slightly absurd. Going to drain for 2 with no battle plan or order shield out. Wirfs is going to do an early It Could Be Worse. It Could Be Wirfs. And that gets grabbed. I don't know if that's the right grab. I definitely think that Control Tunnel Vision is the card to grab here, which we see right now. Chris Kelly tried to sense the It Could Be Worse, but that sense gets canceled by Control Tunnel Vision. And that force drain is reduced by 2. Chris Kelly also going to drain 1. Wirfs loses a Punch It off top of reserve deck. Oh boy, Mike pointing out in chat that that might not be the right grab against this deck. I don't even want to know what's going on here. Stimpy, I think Control is the best one to grab, just because they get so many uses out of it. You get like 4 or 5 uses out of it. They're able to set up all of their stuff. And something like It's a Hit, or It Could Be Worse, that they can reuse to cancel drains or reduce drains. They both have to find each time in their deck, so you can shuffle the deck if you have a way to do that, or they have to use force in the case of It Could Be Worse. So I much prefer grabbing Control Tunnel Vision. Alright, so we see General Pride comes to the finalizer as a pilot. We see Kylo's Command Shuttle and a Kylo from reserve deck, which will get a use pile pull. So Kylo's actually going to get barriered on the ship, so he's not going to be able to move out of the ship. Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of the things getting grabbed are backbreaking. I just think control has the most benefit, so if you can cut in half the number of uses of control, I think that helps you. But you're telling me that he's going to play like Panic or something later. So FN2199 will join the shuttle at the farm. Followed by Captain Phasma and another use pile pull. I believe that's all 4. Hux, Kylo, Phasma, Snoke. So that's all 4 pulls. Hope you guys all have the multi-stream up so you can watch all 4 games at once. There was an adjusted multi-stream once me and Dylan started up. So if you don't have that, I can put that in chat. That way when you don't want to hear my voice anymore, you can just switch over to somebody else. So Chris Kelly grabs that sense back with I will finish what you started. Grabs a lightsaber for Kylo. I mean, this is a pretty productive turn again for him, so he's still threatening what he's going to drain for 2 in space, 2 on the ground, and 1 at the shield control center, whatever it's called. My voice is starting to go after I recorded all 4 of my games yesterday, which I will be putting up on YouTube for people to check out. You can watch me fail in spectacular fashion in the last 10 minutes of Game 4. And then streaming Chris Kelly and Timo this morning as well, so maybe my voice is starting to run out. Not to mention I just ran. Alright, so that's the end of Chris Kelly's turn 3. Chris Wirfs turn 3 here. He's going to activate 12. That's 12 active. Chris Kelly going to pull Battle Order. Feels pretty good about his position on the board. Yeah, so I think last turn was kind of Wirfs' best chance to take out the finalizer with minimal losses on his side. Now with Pride's going to add 5 to attrition there, so it's essentially a second Destiny. Wirfs could definitely have something like, who would be good here? Dash, Outrider, and second Smuggler, along with a moving to attack position to maintain his immunity. He's going to start by putting Rio Durant to the Cantina, putting a card down to activate 2. followed by Chewbacca. So that's quite a bit of power there. Chewbacca, as I found out yesterday, has armor 4 as well, so that's good. He does get a must be allowed to speak pool with Chewbacca. Still 7 force to play with. There's Luke. So he is running the old man Luke. Luke, who does not have any immune to attrition because of the map objective. But that does flip Chris Kelly back. Not that the flip side is really doing too much except for making Wirfs spend force to draw destiny and preventing retrieval. But it's also not retrieving right now. Wirfs will deploy Kessel. I mean, I think we're going to see a potential gravity shadow here when Wirfs tries to move to Kessel. Is the Kessel run canceled at any point? So Wirfs plays the Kessel run. Starts with a 1 and a 3. It's Luke, Saber, Mirax. An all wings combo gets him to 9. Blast the Door Kid gets him to 13. I was going to say this would be a good opportunity to set up Menace Fades, but Menace Fades wouldn't even do anything right now. It would save 1 force. That drain at the farm is going to be 2. That drain in space is going to be 2. So no gravity shadow, but so the Falcon makes it to Kessel, just like in the movie. I'm gonna put one of those cards back. I think you probably want the all wings combo in your hand, or the blasted door kid in your hand, but he puts that one back. So Wirfs now needs to keep Luke alive until that Kessel run can be finished so that he can retrieve. Chris Kelly activating an obscene 17 force, 18 force. And drain for free for 2 and 2. First one gets tunnel visioned, or controlled, I guess. Wonder what's going to happen to the second one now. Gonna get surprise assaulted, so that's gonna be 4 destiny against 7 power. So 4 for destiny. Four for destiny. So currently Chris Kelly losing 1. 3 for destiny. That's 4 loss. Oh, I guess it only counts. Surprise assault. Present. Okay. So it turns a loss of 2 into a loss of 4 for Chris Kelly. Losing from reserve deck, Stormtrooper Patrol, FN 2003, coarse and rough and irritating, and Min Kainu. And then a force strain of 1 at the Star Killer base, and Chris Wirfs loses Wedge. I don't like that it shows up as coarse and rough and irritating V, because that implies that that was a card before this. And I hate that card. I hate it. So Chris looking for a Star Killer base site, but does not find one. Probably doesn't play one. We'll play an Imperial Command now, while Wirfs has no force active. Get Captain Peavy. He does have the Zuckuss and Mist Hunter, so that comes out for 6 force. 2 Kessel, where Chris Wirfs only has 6 ability. Captain Peavy's going to pilot the Zuckuss and Mist Hunter just for some extra power, I guess. That also implies he's probably moving to Kessel this turn as well. And Chris will initiate battle at Kessel. Wirfs has a moving to attack position. It's going to make the Falcon power 10 and immune to attrition. So just Destiny for each. Chris Kelly draws a 3, so his total power will be 10, and it'll be even. Wirfs gonna draw them just for fun, maybe? Just for fun. That's a 5. And 2. So nothing happens. That's good. 1 moving to attack position was lost. Good result. So Wirfs will put a card back with the Kessel run. Puts back Mirax. So Kylo's going to get out of the shuttle. The shuttle's going to fly up to Tatooine. Shuttle's going to embark Finalizer. I imagine someone is moving to the shuttle. No? Well, maybe. Kylo moves over to the docking bay. The Finalizer and everything goes to Kessel. So Mitaka goes to the shuttle as a pilot. Shuttle comes back out. And draws a card. So 27 total power there at Kessel. Wirfs, on the other hand, will be able to finish the Kessel run this turn. During his move phase, he'll be able to put a card back for a normal move phase and then take a card into hand with Han Solo. And retrieve 4 if he still has the Force, since map is on the 0 side. He does have to be careful moving away because Gravity Shadow is always a threat. In the meantime, he's going to drain for 2 at the Cantina. Chris Kelly's going to lose Ice Heart and First Order Stormtrooper. Going to play a Control Tunnel Vision from Lost pile. Will reveal Pulsar Skate with Squadron assignments to get Mirex that he knows is in there because it just went back last turn. I would guess Mirex is probably going to Tatooine, but I would guess wrong. So Mirex goes to Jakku. Theranet also joining Mirex on the Pulsar Skate. Could be possible that Wirfs wants to move Pulsar Skate to Starkiller base to be able to drain for 2, but he also drains for 2 at Jakku, so I might as well just stay there. So it is his move phase. Kessel Run is going to put a card back. Puts back the All Wings combo. So that means he's going to take Luke's lightsaber into hand. To complete the run. That will allow him to retrieve 4 force, which he will have to pay for now. Retrieves moving to attack position, wedge, surprise assault, control tunnel vision. So it still has a punch it in the lost pile. I wonder if that works. Be able to add 2 destiny and make it immune to attrition. But I still imagine he's leaving this turn just because he's facing down 27 power. Uses 1 force to move to Tatooine. Still no gravity shadow. Draws a card, saves none. So still facing down drains of 1, 2, 2, and 1 for 6 total force, but could have something like a it's a hit to cancel 2 of those. Surprise assault does cost a 4, so he's not going to play that. Alright, so Chris Kelly, turn 5, has 17 life force, activates 13, giving him 14 total active and 3 in reserve, has 12 in hand. So drain of 2 at the docking bay. R2-D2 and Captain Lando Calrissian come off the top of reserve. Drain 2 at the farm. All Wings combo and Luke the Last Jedi come off the top of reserve. Drain of 1 at the shield control site. Outrider comes off top of reserve. And a drain of 1 at Kessel. And Dodge comes off top of reserve. So definitely some tools in there for Wirfs to use. He's got the Dodge, he's got an all wings in there. What was the first thing? Oh, R2. Still has punch it in there. Just not this turn. So Chris tries to grab a Starkiller base site, and again, doesn't find it. I wonder where it is. Oh no. Looks like Jared Napolitano, his Black Sun, has already beaten Matt HT's Yavin 4 operations. And the other matches, Brian Fred's map is up by about 4 life force on Chris Goblin's Throne Room, and Joe Olson's There It's Good in Him is up by about 3 life force on Pat Johnson's Black Sun. Alright, so here comes Mara to the cantina. Excuse me. Oh, geez, Jared won that game by 31 over Matt HT. I don't even know how that happens. Mary Jade gonna play You Are Beaten to prevent Luke from battling. So that will keep Luke alive. But that means that Chewbacca and Rio here might be in some trouble. Well, Rio might be in some trouble, I think. I think Chewbacca's gonna get sniped. Alright, so Chris will initiate battle with Mara against the two smugglers. Mara going to swing at Chewbacca, who has armor 4. Draws a command. And Phasma for a 3. So that 7 will hit Chewbacca. There is the sniper, so Chris will lose a force. Loses that Captain Phasma he just drew. So now Mara is power 5 and a destiny to Rio, who is power 4 and forfeit 6. So not likely to take overflow here, but also not going to get rid of Mara. I assume Kylo's going to come, move in front as well. Just draws a 5, so Rio will cover with no overflow. Phasma will get to retrieve a trooper. And we know he just lost a Phasma, so he has at least one. But instead retrieves FN 2003. So Luke is yabbed for the next light side turn and dark side turn. So looking pretty good for Chris here, which is a joke I'm going to keep using. Yeah, Chris Kelly is able to, he's got 2 sites retrains for 2, he's got a Mara in front of a You Are Beaten Luke. He's got pretty good control over space. He's going to be able to move the finalizer to Jakku, I think, take care of that. He also moved PV over to the finalizer and Hux to Zuckuss. So I can see splitting up some here. Maybe you take finalizer and the shuttle over to Jakku, where you block the drain of 2 and then can drain for 2 yourself next turn, while only giving up the drain of 1 in space. And you can leave Mist Hunter at Kessel, where you are somewhat protected by the Mist Hunter and I was going to say Hux's forfeit, but Hux's forfeit is 2 right now, so. But instead, he's going to take the finalizer and the shuttle to Tatooine, where Han, Ellers, and the Falcon are living, and Zuckuss and Mist Hunter will go to Jakku, where Chris Wirfs has Mirex and Theronet aboard Pulsar Skate. Well, the shuttle also to Jakku. I don't know how I feel about that split up. I don't know what you gain by going to Tatooine that you don't gain by just going to Jakku. Well, there's your answer, Mike Turner. Finalizer cannot reach Jakku, so that's why he did it this way. That makes way more sense to me. In that case, I guess I do like this split, but I might have even eaten the drain of 2 at Jakku. Because the finalizer doesn't seem super strong to me. I mean, he's relying on command, right? But there's definitely an all wings in Wirfs' lost pile. That Falcon is what, maneuver 6 at least? Yeah, maneuver 6. And what is the forfeit on PB? So 5. So 11 will clear both of them. And if he has something like moving to attack position in his hand, that attrition destiny from Pride doesn't even matter. And if he doesn't have a command, then Wirfs is drawing 3 destiny. So Malos is going to go on board as a passenger. There's probably some moving around to happen here. Malos and either of those does not quite get him to 7 ability, so he might be following with a third or a 4th pilot character as well. Malos is going to be barriered in the passenger slot. So now Theron and Mirix both go to passenger slots. I can hold 6 people. Wow. Kira comes down as a pilot. Kira's ability 4. Talon Card comes down as a pilot. He's ability 3. Really only power 4? No, I guess Kira doesn't add anything to power. Kira will cause 1 force loss if Wirfs decide to battle here. And then he will get 2 destiny to Chris Kelly's 1. No, just kidding, it's still 1. Because it's Jakku. So Kira causes 1 force loss. That's a Kylo Ren from Chris Kelly's hand. Malos is excluded, so he can't be forfeited this time. Not that you would. We might see Wirfs use that all wings that we know was in his lost pile to be able to draw 2 destiny here. I mean, Hux is forfeit 2 right now, and Mitaka's only 3, so a 6 total is going to get rid of at least a ship. And if somehow he gets to 12, which I don't think is possible, Yeah. As long as he gets to 6, that'll be at least a ship. So that all wings combo will give him a 4. And he draws a 0 for his Battle Destiny. That is unfortunate. So total of 4 is going to get Hux and Mitaka at least. But he's only power 8. And Chris still gets to draw Destiny. Draws a 4, so he's power 16. Pulsar's immune, not going to be immune because it's not either of them piloting. So forfeit of 8 with talent card there shouldn't be hard. It should just be like Theron net, I think. Yeah, Theron covers a lot of forfeit. Chris Kelly loses Hux and loses probably Mitaka. Yeah, to keep the 2 ships in the air. So Wirfs with only 1 force left. Needs to move that Falcon away, I think. Moves the Falcon away to Kessel. That's free. Draws a card. That'll be the end of his turn. So still facing down, drains of 2, 2, 2, and 1. Really starting to add up now. Alright, so Chris Kelly starting his turn with 18 in life force, 7 in hand. Wirfs with 23 in life force, but only 2 in hand, and about to face down some drains. So Chris activates 13. Saving a couple force to initiate at least one battle. Luke is still clashed. Or, yeah, you are beaten. So he's not battling there, but he could have a sniper. Alright, so Chris training for 2 at the system. It's going to be an all wings and it's a hit from reserve deck. Training for 2 at the docking bay. It's going to be Blast the Door Kid and Ascension Guns. Draining for 2 at the farm. There's Lomi and a barrier. And then 1 more at the shield control. And that will be a wild card. Yeah, so very quickly down to 16 life force. Still 2 in hand. Chris is going to take a look at his deck and let Chris see it as well. Just taking a peek at the other streams real quick, see what's going on. I see Dylan just kind of hanging out, waiting for game 2. Looks like on the main stream. Oh, there's so much stuff covering everything. Just go look at the lobby. So Joe Olsen has 24 life force to Pat Johnson's 10. Brian Fred and Chris Gogolin both have 11 life force. This game it's 17 to 16. And then we're waiting on game 2 for how they just started, so 43 to 41 currently. Chris Kelly gonna force push, grab a card into hand, put a card back in his life force as well. Maybe Joe Olsen's right. Maybe we should try to stream 2 games at once. I don't even know if I have anything I can promote right now. The Death Star 2 event's still going on. There's another 10 days plus a couple more days, so another 2 weeks or so of that. OCS is coming back next month. Month number 3 of the OCS. You can sign up for that if you're not already signed up. Definitely have some deck lists from this weekend you could take a look at. Yeah. Alright, so Chris has chosen a card and put 2 cards back. Let's see what he does from here. So Dr. E will join at the cantina. We're into Chris's battle phase, so that's all we got for deployment this turn. Mira and Dr. E unable to battle Luke because he's still yabbed. May have opened a little window here for Wirfs if he runs a sorry about the mess. He can, sorry about the mess, Mara, and beat up on Dr. E a little bit. But he does expose himself to the fact that Luke is not immune to attrition. And Dr. E would draw Destiny, so we'd have to deploy somebody else as well. Alright, so one force, Zuckuss and Mist Hunter, is moving to Tatooine by itself. The Finalizer is moving to Kessel to follow the Falcon. And Kylo's shuttle is staying where it is. And Chris is going to draw some. I don't know why that would be the case. It does have hyperspeed. Could have followed Zuckuss. Even if he has a Gik, he's still going to have to... Well, alright. So I guess a Drain would be for 2 plus a Kira ping. Whereas a Gik is going to be the Gik and a Kira ping. So save himself 1 force that way. I just feel like you should try to keep your ships alive. Alright, so Wirfs playing all wings to try to get a ship, but did not find one. So out of ships, potentially. And now without an all wings to actually play. I think there's still one in the lost pile. I think he lost 1 this last turn. It's going to cost him 3 though. So Wirfs with 1 card in hand. With the ability to Mirax if he wants to. Activates 14, which is everything. Talent card is going to peek at the top card of opponent's reserve deck, so Wirfs knows what's on top of Chris Kelly's reserve deck. Palpatine will draw the bottom card of Force Pile. The bottom card of Wirfs' reserve deck is that all wings combo, so it's a 5. I have to imagine that Chris Kelly has a command for a battle at Kessel, a potential battle at Kessel. Alright, so Kira gets moved around to be the passenger. There was nothing during his Chris Wirfs' control phase because everything is blocked up. Kira gets moved around to passenger. Mirax becomes the pilot again, which restores immunity. So now piloting is Mirax and Talon, I believe. Yeah. And I forget who the four. Oh, Melas is on there as well. So 6 and 2 Destiny there. I actually think there is a good line here, and I'm sure Wirfs sees it. He's a smart guy. So he's going to battle here. Kira's going to cause 1 force loss. So he will draw 2 Destiny. He will draw 1 Destiny in this battle. Never mind. Not the line I thought it was. So he draws a 3. So it's going to be 9 to 3. That's going to force Chris to lose Kylo's shuttle and 1 card. There's still a line. Chris can use Mirax now to take the top card of the deck, and then he can draw a 5 and a 6 and can clear, or he can draw a 5 and spin a 6 to clear PV and Pride even through the command. And that would clear the finalizer as well, because they should be forfeit 5 and forfeit 5. And that would knock out 2 of the 3 ships. Instead he shuffles his deck. I'm looking for force projection, which he's not going to find. I wonder if force projection wouldn't be so bad of a card in Watch Your Step. If you run this Luke, it can make a bunch of your guys on the ground defense value 5. It's not terrible. Wirfs instead just going to move away. It's going to use 1 force to move to Star Killer base. Probably 1 force to move Pulsar Skeet over to Tatooine. No, maybe not. Okay, yeah. He has to slide around some of the pilots so that he can draw against Zuckuss. So Kira and Talon piloting, and then 1 force to move to Tatooine. Questionable what you're going to do with Luke here. Okay, so Luke will stay in the cantina. There's the command from Chris Kelly, which gets grabbed. Rightly so. Looking for an admiral or general. I don't think he's going to find one. Oh, he takes Grand Admiral Thrawn into hand. Did find one. Alright, so turn 7. Chris Kelly with 12 in Life Force, 8 in hand. Chris Wirfs with 16 in Life Force, 2 in hand. But Wirfs is facing down drains of 2, 2, and 2. One of the things is that he does know his top 2 Destiny, so he could play that surprise assault on the drain of 2 at the farm. It's definitely a 5 and something else. So Wirfs says he meant to draw more here. So they're going to go ahead and revert I think. Yeah, so they're going to revert back to Chris Kelly's draw phase. Chris Wirfs' draw phase. Chris Kelly is going to play his command still, most likely. Or maybe not. Wirfs going to use Mirax to draw the top card, which we now know is a moving to attack position. And then play the command to get Grand Admiral Thrawn. So now we know the top of Wirfs' deck is an all-wings combo. Wirfs saving 3/4, so he's able to play something from Lost Pile this turn if he needs to. Chris Kelly activating 5, or leaving 5 in reserve deck. Drain for 1 at Kessel. Drain of 2 at the docking bay. That will get controlled from hand. The first one he lost was a Where's Han from hand. Drain of 2 at the farm. That will go through. Chris Wirfs losing a moving to attack position and the all wings off the top of the deck. And then a drain of 1 at the shield control. That'll be a blaster deflection from hand. Certainly a curious choice. But I guess he can play it this turn. We're likely to see that Luke die this turn, but could play like an old Ben or something to get him back, or a Cantina Brawl to mess some things up. Looks like Joe Olsen has beaten Pat Johnson in game 1. So Mitaka comes down as a pilot on Zuckuss. lateral damage is going to come down on Pulsar Skate. Oh boy, we're getting raided. I don't even know what that means. Party of 36. It's a party now. Alright, so we see a battle at the Cantina. Wirfs immediately going to play something from Lost Pile. Play the Dodge. Okay, I had forgotten the Dodge was in there. So we'll spend 3 to dodge away and get Luke in front of Kylo. But that react will get canceled. Mara's going to swing at Luke. Draws a 5. Which will get redrawn by Old Man Luke. So, Destiny of 2, which will get redrawn by Sith Fury. Alright, so now actual Destinies. Destiny of 4. And a Destiny of 4. So Luke will be hit and forfeit 0. He was already had no immunity because he's the agent. Oh, he's +1. Look at that. Look at me learning stuff right here in real time. The lightsaber does add 1 to his defense value. So used to Luke being defense value 7. So Luke not hit, but still not immune to attrition. Luke's going to swing at Dr. E. Draws a 4 and a 4. So Dr. E will be hit and forfeit 0. Battle Destiny is a 5 for Chris Kelly. So he will be at 13 total. And a 4 for Chris Wirfs, so he'll be at a 9 total. So the site will be cleared completely. In addition, Phasma will get to retrieve a trooper. There's at least a Phasma in the Lost Pile. I don't know what else is in the Lost Pile. Use this one to get a generic Stormtrooper. So Dr. E goes. Luke goes. That will flip map back to the 7 side. And flip Watch Your Step back to the 0 side. It will also force Chris Wirfs to pay for his drains, and if Chris Kelly still has a pull left, he can pull Coward to cancel the drain of 2 at Starkiller base. So still Chris Kelly's turn here. He's probably going to move some ships around. One force to move the finalizer to Tatooine in front of the lateral damaged Pulsar Skate. One force to move Zuckuss to Kessel to just hang out and drain for 1. Which is really all he needs to do right now. Kylo Ren is going to move to the Cantina, where he will be able to drain for an additional 1. Alright, so 1 force still for Zuckus to go to Kessel. No force for Kylo to go to the Cantina because he's not going. Watcher Step was the most played light side deck. Certainly questionable, debatable, probably a better word, if it's the top light side deck. Chris Kelly stacking Ascents, which you can play right now for the time being because Watcher Step is back on the 0 side. Draws 1 card and ends his turn. Alright, so Chris Wirfs here, starting his turn with 10 in life force, 3 in hand. Activates 6, leaving 4 in his reserve deck. He's going to use Mirax. Activate a couple more. So if he wants to, he can pay 3 to drain for 2 at Star Killer base. Does activate all the rest as well. Looks like Jared Napolitano is going to move on. He's the first into the Final Four that I'm aware of. Chris Wirfs here has another Luke to the Cantina, which will flip map back to the 0 side again. Re-enables Battle Plan. Joe Olsen also into top 4. Okay. Oh, is that why we got rated? Alright, so just deployed Luke. He's going to move Pulsar Skate to Jakku. I can't make it all the way to the Star Killer base. Be interesting to see what he does with the Falcon if he wants to flip back. Move the Falcon to Tatooine. Does flip his objective back. Alright, so Chris Kelly's turn. He's got 13 in life force, 6 in hand. He's going to start off by draining for, or activating 8. Draining for 1 at Kessel. Draining for 2 at the docking bay. Chris losing relatively unprotected, and he's the best smuggler around. We'll shuffle his deck now to see. Yeah, this is still game 1. So drain of 1 at the Starkiller base. Lose a few maneuvers from reserve deck. And a drain of 2 at Lars Moisture Farm, which will get surprise assaulted. So we're looking at 2 Destiny against a total of 7. That's a 4. And a 5. So that's going to be 2 force loss for Chris Kelly, who has now lost 6 force to surprise assault. A 10 force swing. Well, I guess 8, because surprise assault's actually lost both times. Chris Kelly losing FN 2003 and Director Krennic from hand. Deploying Grand Admiral Thrawn to the Cantina, not a place he's known to frequent. But certainly good enough. So Chris has another dodge in hand. Be able to dodge this Luke away. Nope, it's going to get canceled again. So, Battle Destiny's here. Thrawn's going to draw a 5, which gets redrawn. Into a 4. So Thrawn will be power 6. He's not going to take any overflow, so these Destinies don't really matter. Wirfs draws a 4. So 9 to 6 overall here. Thrawn's not immune, so he goes away. Luke's not immune, so he goes away. Map flips. Battle plan costs force again. Stack the Gick back on to I will finish what you started. With a battle at Tatooine, that will force Wirfs to lose a force due to Snoke. So it's going to be 15 to 8. Wirfs has a moving to attack position to make it 15 to 10. And immune to attrition. Chris Kelly draws a 4, so he's going to be 19 power. With 9 attrition. Not that that matters. Oh, 8 attrition, excuse me. Wirfs has to use or lose 1 to draw Destiny. loses the Cantina Brawl from his use pile to draw 1 Destiny. It's a 2, so he's going to be at power 12. That close call is going to get, or excuse me, that Hujix is going to get redrawn. So Wirfs down 9 in this battle. Phasma will let Chris Kelly retrieve a card. Retrieves a Stormtrooper Patrol. Wirfs has to cover 9 battle damage, so Ellers goes for 6. Han goes for 3. Watcher Step flows back. And we'll probably see the Finalizer move in front of Jakku. So I'm thinking this is going to be 15 force for Chris. Zuckuss moves to Tatooine, because why not? Wirfs activates 1, leaves 2. I don't know if he realizes that he only draws 1 Destiny. Well, this is going to put 3 more cards in this lost pile, but it does make Chris Kelly lose 1 more force from Kira. Kelly draws a 5, so he's power 20 to the currently 0 and remain 0. And Wirfs will lose battle damage until his life force is depleted, so that'll be a win by 15 with 18 in lost pile and 38 lost pile for Chris Wirfs. I am going to be done streaming for the day, so I don't know if anybody in chat wants to take over streaming for game 2 of this. Otherwise, Dan said the main channel is going to try to stream both remaining top 8 games. There's a game 2 between Brian Fred and Chris Gogolin, and then game 2 between Chris Wirfs and Chris Kelly here. So head on over to the main channel. I'm sure they'll figure it out, and if somebody takes over, then I'm sure Dan will let you know. So thank you guys for joining me. I'm gonna go take a nap.